Okay, I'd like to review with you the idea of intensity and intensity data saved within a cloud file. This is something that we've been working on. RDS 6.6 came out not that long ago, so AS1 scanners and Hexagon's arms and tracker models are able to now measure intensity data, and that can be useful for all sorts of things. This is a panel that has some rivets, and one of the things that we're interested in is exploring ideas for how to use intensity and use it to accomplish specific tasks such as detecting rivets. And when you have the intensity values, you really don't have any additional information. All you have is an extra integer that's saved with the data. So we have to access it in some way and be able to filter using that. And if you have ever played around with it, we have an option called RGB filtering. And believe it or not, RGB also applies to intensity. So we have a filter for intensity. You can look at the data and you can apply a filter that should split out the white and the dark. And you can play around with this filter and try and narrow it down to be a particular zone, which can be a little bit challenging, but you can play around with finding the settings that fit for you. And then you can just reset the data. It's a way of displaying based upon what's available in the data. You can work on algorithms to find the solution for this. And so what I wanted to quickly review for you is the idea that this doesn't have to be a hunt and peck. It can be much more strategic if you use a script. So if you open up scripts and just simply type cloud and collapse, you can see there's several sections with has cloud commands. And in here is a set for cloud filters. The cloud filters include getting the current RGB value, and we can now do that directly using a callout as well. So if I wanted to add a callout here, I can click on this and get the RGB value for that and up here as well. So you can see the RGB values, and RGB is red, green, and blue. So with intensity, they're the same, but you're allowed to get that, and you can look at the RGB of the entire cloud, the RGB of the closest point near it, and you can subdivide the cloud using these things. So it actually offers a number of tools if you want to play around with it. One of the things that we did do was already develop a script designed for this process. So I can run this script and pick a target size of the rivet, and then just click on a rivet, and it should try and search and do a couple of things. What it does is it builds the zone around where I clicked. It then separates the cloud. So I have two separate clouds. One is the interior data, one is the exterior data. And what it does is allow you to easily associate that data to a circle and a plane, so you can do analysis of where those features are in space. So this is the kind of thing that is fairly easy to do with a script. You can just simply go and hit go, and voila, extract another feature. Missed. Try that one again. There we go. So it's really a matter of just using the tools to your best advantage. And you can work with us to try and talk to one of the application engineers to see how you might use these cloud filtering tools to fit the needs that you have in your industry. Okay, I'd like to now return to the corridor and just expand the same concept. So again, we have intensity values. I can right click on this and go to the RGB filtering and look at the intensity distribution and try and filter the cloud based on that intensity values. That's not particularly useful in this case. What I would rather do is actually take advantage of the RGB color that we can add to clouds. So if I go to the reporting tab and again perform my query to generate the colors using Cloud to CAD, generating a colorized cloud, I can select the cloud and the mesh and generate a colorized cloud. And then this, again, you can right click on it and play with the colors. You can play around with, say, let's do a go, no go as an example. This is a good example. Say I want to isolate the zones that actually fail tolerance, and you can just say, okay, that's the RGB values, but I can right click and go to RGB filtering now and try to look at the value for the actual red values and isolate just those values specifically. So I can go out to this extreme here and apply the filter, and you'll see what I've done is isolate just the red that was there from the intensity. This is the data that is actually failed, it allows you to have much more flexibility in filtering the cloud data and accessing just the regions of interest. So there are, again, very interesting ways of playing around with the RGB values, resetting the color, and trying to filter using red, green, and blue to isolate the data and the regions of interest.